This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. As most of you probably know, we have been covering the Virginia AG race quite closely in the last couple of days. And for those that don't know why that's the case, because the Democrat AG nominee, Jay Jones, he's had so many scandals break the last couple of days that it's impossible to just ignore them. And we're not talking about some small scandal here and there. No, these are serious ones. Like the first major one was he was driving 116 miles per hour and then he got caught for reckless driving, and his punishment, it was quote unquote community service. Which that alone is ridiculous. I mean, you look at the Virginia laws, it's like, wait, that should be a much more severe punishment than just community service, but whatever. Well, the community service was for his own political group. So, he actually benefited from breaking the law. He got punished by working for his own organization to advance his political career. Man, what a harsh punishment. But obviously nobody cares about that because the major scandal that broke came about a week ago when this lunatic, he had some text messages from 2022 leak, and we've gone over this 100 times before, but for those that don't know, he said some horrible things about the former Republican speaker of the state legislature in Virginia. Like he said, oh, if I'm in a room with him, Hitler, and Pol Pot, you know, some of the worst people in human history, that if he had two bullets, he would use both of them on the Republican speaker. Yeah. So he is saying that the normie, generic Republican who is a speaker of the legislature is worse than Hitler and Pol Pot. And he even said, oh, think of the two worst people you know, and every single time this Gilbert guy gets killed. That's what he said. And he goes on and attacks his family and says that, oh, they're breeding fascists and, you know, I hope their kid dies so they change their political views. This guy's insane. And this story was so shocking and horrifying that everybody's talking about it. You can't go anywhere without hearing about this because it's such a shocking thing to see, because Kirk was just shot a month ago, and now we're starting to learn that Democrats for years now have been saying this crap behind the scenes. Everybody knows publicly, a lot of lunatics, they've been saying, we need more Charlie Kirks. We need more people to die like Kirk did to stop the far-right maggots. But now we're learning, not just some random person. No, this guy has a chance to become the Attorney General of Virginia. And he was fantasizing killing his political opponents not even 3 years ago for, like, gun control or some crap. It's insane. So you have Democrats in public office that are about to get top positions. They have been fantasizing killing Republicans for years now. It's been building, it's been festering for years now, and now it's getting leaked. And there was just another major scandal as the Republican colleague who got the text, which again, I don't know how she got this, but she was the one that leaked these messages, which we can confirm they're real. She also said that Jay Jones told her in a phone call in 2020 that a few police officers dying would stop them from killing other people. Yeah. So this lunatic in 2020 was saying some of these cops should die so these criminals don't die. Wait, what? You can't make this up. So it's not just random people. He's just saying anybody doesn't like, the first step to get rid of them is not peaceful protest or whatever. He's saying, no, we gotta commit acts of violence. And like, listen, it doesn't matter what you think about Democrats or Republicans. All violence should be condemned. We're to the point now, though, that's controversial to say. Democrats, they call you far-right maggots if you say political violence, so any types of violence should be condemned. These leftist radicals, though, if they hear that, they think, oh, you're a far-right maggot and you must be put down. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're going out and say this crap, and they've been accelerating their nonsense since Kirk got shot. It's utter insanity, but now it's not just some random schizophrenic saying this. This guy could become the next AG of Virginia. We're not talking about some random person on the street. If this guy becomes the AG, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen? He's saying this crap behind closed doors, and that's to a Republican colleague. God knows what he said to fellow Democrats, who, by the way, they all agree with him. You think I'm exaggerating? Look at this. Tim Kaine, who a couple years ago was Hillary Clinton's running mate, who could have been the vice president, by the way, if Clinton won, he is supporting Jay Jones. He is still supporting Jay Jones no matter what. That's not just a random Democrat on the street. Keep going. Basically, every county party in Virginia, they have not only not condemned Jay Jones, but they're actually doubling down in their support for him. This post from Christian Hines really should wake everybody up. Christian Hines is a great guy. Go follow him and stuff. And this is the Henrico County Democrats, a major Democrat party in Virginia, not some random county that has 5 people or whatever. This is a significant county. And this is their statement. Accountability matters. Jay Jones's old text messages were wrong, and he's owned that publicly and personally. He's apologized directly, taken responsibility, and expressed real remorse. That's what accountability looks like. What are you talking about? They're making it sound like this was some edgy joke that, was just not funny. He was saying some very direct details like what he would do. Comparing him to Hitler and Pol Pot and, he has a bullet. It's like, what? How can you take that as anything but a threat? As something he wants to actually happen? And when did he ever take responsibility? His only public statements were blaming Trump in the mainstream media. I'm not kidding, by the way. Look it up. His only statements is blaming Trump for releasing these messages or something. Really? That's accountability? Accountability would be, I am sorry to everybody that was impacted by these messages. This was a horrible mistake I made, and I drop out. That's real accountability. But no, he's not dropping out. And of course, Democrats, they're doubling down. They're saying, oh, Republicans are weaponizing this. What do you mean they're weaponizing this? They're just telling the truth. That you a lunatic on your ticket right now that said horrible stuff about police, about political opponents, about God knows who else. Because I guarantee you, it's far worse than just some random state legislator in Virginia or random cops, which is already bad enough. But he was saying that directed at Republicans. What is he saying behind the scenes to Democrats? Makes you really wonder. And they go on this weird tangent about Orange Man bad stuff, of course. Ultra MAGA Attorney General Jason Myers. It just keeps going on. And they say this. They're talking about all the Democrat candidates, including Jay Jones, which they make a big deal about that. They say, and yes, Jay Jones is showing what real leadership looks like. They've been working their hearts out, meeting voters, listening, and fighting for our shared values. Notice how they emphasize Jay Jones here. So that not only they're claiming he demonstrated real leadership, which he didn't, but that he is quote-unquote fighting for their shared values. What shared values? Well, why did you emphasize Jay Jones so much here? Makes you really wonder. Are these your shared values? These messages right here? Makes you really wonder, doesn't it? It just, what are we doing here? If this was a legitimate country, if we had a halfway sane opposition, they would have immediately condemned this. Everybody would have said, you gotta drop out now, seek help, whatever. But no, they are tripling down their support for Jay Jones. And it's everybody, not just some random official. It's senators, it's state representatives, it's county officials, it's everybody. But really, the most shocking part about all of this is how the average voter responded. Which I was saying early on that, listen, this should be the end of Jay Jones's campaign. You don't say this and succeed. Well, we have a horrifying update in Virginia for early voting. Let's be clear about one thing. Early voting, like we've said before, can be misleading. It's not everything. That's why we talked a little bit about it, but, you know, it's not the biggest predictor, okay? Well, we've had some updates post-scandal from Christian Hines, who, again, is a great guy. He knows what he's doing. He's a big data guy in Virginia. He posted this when he was looking at the early voting numbers. And, this should tell you everything. This was a couple days ago, okay? And the numbers got worse for the GOP. Look at this. We are actually seeing Democrats experience a resurgence in early voting in Virginia. Look at this. A couple days ago, Republicans were basically tied up with where they were back in 2024, which was impressive. But now, ever since a scandal, which part of this is because of some mail-in votes, I get that, that's one argument, but ever since the scandal broke, Republicans, they have gone downwards significantly, while Democrats have gone up. You know what that means? Post-scandal, which this should have been in a reasonable society, the end of Jay Jones, it actually made Democrats more enthusiastic. You can't make this up. So, the Democrat base, they got more excited from this scandal for their candidates. Yeah. What do you even say to this at this point? It's just stunning. I should not be shocked by this at all. Like, at this point, I shouldn't be. But somehow, the Democrat base continues to sink even further into the insanity. What the hell? I mean, guys, just look at the early voting from a couple days ago. Or actually a couple weeks ago. Republicans were doing a little bit better, and it seemed like, hey, they're gaining momentum. And yes, part of this was expected, but Hines, who again, he knows what he's talking about, he is saying these numbers are bad. And that this is very unusual. So does this mean Jay Jones is for sure going to win? I don't know. In a sane society, Jones would get killed by like 30 points, right? He would get crushed. It would be a landslide. But this is the modern Democrat base. These voters, apparently, they like what he said. And like they're supporting him even more in the base. No, the party as a whole, they're tripling down their support for this guy. It is unbelievable. I don't know what to say. I'm hoping Jason Maris can hold on, but if he doesn't, we're going to start having serious conversations because we're to a point now where if you say this crazy shit, it somehow could actually help your campaign, could help your political career. Does that sound like a stable society to anybody? Where threatening violence and stuff, that's actually going to help you politically? This has never happened before. This crap. This is getting crazier. So, again, we'll see what happens the next couple of days. Maybe this was a fluke, but my goodness. The numbers and updates post-scandal, yeah, it's not looking good. And there's a good chance that these scandals, they might have actually helped Jay Jones because they want to save democracy. And they were going to save democracy no matter what, which is not good at all. But again, a lot can happen. I mean, there's some positive developments because you look at the ad spending in the AG race, and Republicans are piling on against Jay Jones. They are significantly outspending Jay Jones by like 2-to-1 margins, which that keeps up. Maybe it does change the course of the race, but we don't know. The rest of the ticket is crap in the bed big time. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.